everybody, and welcome to tonight's newest indoor adventure in the Four Keeps Beneath the Waves, Part 13. Today is June 20th, 2022, and you are loved. That is a very important message that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these sessions. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on that Patreon, and we will do our best to respond to those questions in kind. The easiest way that you can check to see if your question has been answered, of course, is to join us on our Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audio cast down below. We look forward to seeing you there. But let's say that you already support us on Patreon. You already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Under normal circumstances, you could go to indooradventure.redbubble.com to help support us, but for the foreseeable future, all of the proceeds from our merch is actually going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So we got t-shirts, posters, mugs, crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and we even have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where all the proceeds, again, go to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you'd like to help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who you playing tonight?
Hello, my name is RJ, and tonight I'll be playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard. We both go by he, him.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. I'm going to be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter. We both go by she, her.
Boy, I'm Cyber. I go by he, him, or whatever. I play Arjhan. Arjhan's a draconian butcher. He, him.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, she, her. I'm playing as Coriander, the Elegant Paladin, he, she, and they.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, as your group had ended up leaving the Shimmering Area with Swift as the 10 Winds in tow, you were able to eventually kind of see more of the local environment, more of the local ecology, the people who still call the land of Orzaris their home. It was that point that you started noticing that the villages that you were passing by were actually less and less populated, that things seemed to be a little bit more dire as you continued to make your way to the central area of the Nightsworn, where you had been told that the laboratory being shared by Discovery and the Lady of Scales is currently being located. It was at that point that Caelum, you tried to attune to one of the weapons that you had found from the KRMayerIllustration Empire. It didn't really seem like it was responding, but there still was something deep inside that just sort of needed to be coaxed into awareness. At that point, you figured hunting is going to be your best option to do that, and after practicing with your bow for an extended time, as well as having Arjhan help you with the process therein of hunting, you were able to land a pretty sizable boar. In which case you brought bits and pieces of the boar back to enjoy a nice hearty meal with all of your friends, but it turns out that as Cori detected the presence of any kind of like undead or fiend or fae or any of these other more nefarious kinds of things that might call Orzaris home, you were able to detect a sizable undead force making its way towards you. It was at that point that you ended up encountering a combat with these kind of owlin-like super soldiers. These not only did these owlkin have these like razor-sharp beaks and seemed to be akin on doing heckin' bites, but they also seemed like they had like draconic scaling with them as well, kind of leading you to believe that they were a mishmash of other things. And it was at that point at the end, as combat ended with several of these individuals getting away, not wanting to meet their end here in this forest, that you were left with several of them on the ground, and we're getting ready to begin playing a little bit of Operation to try and figure out what exactly was making these super soldiers tick.
I would like to summon a conference room, but it would be more of a
Surgery room?
I'm not sure if we have anything like that new, but like, yeah, like some sort of like necromancy lab or something like that. But
yeah.
like,
yeah, for sure. You could have it, if you'd like, you could even have it still in the same kind of like conference style. It could be one of those like surgery pits where it's the people able to kind of like look down and witness as you're operating. Otherwise, you could just have it be your own private sanctum.
I think it's just like a sterile room that has like that stone like slab.
Okay.
Raised in the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
With like a whole bunch of like
all the tools that you would need.
All the tools.
Okay. Yeah. So you summon this room, and taking there are a variety of bodies here. There was a red body, blue, black. Are you just grabbing whichever one's closest?
I thought we only killed one.
You killed quite a few.
Yeah, I'm let's take a few.
Okay.
Because I mean, we might mess a couple up.
For sure. Yeah, so you just begin taking these into your new conference room. Swift, at this point, as you saw, had slammed a bottle of this alcohol that he seemed to have on him that allowed him to fight with a particular fervor. Sees you all dragging these bodies into the summoned room and not wanting necessarily to stay out here where he fears that he might be targeted once again. He is going to help you drag these in unless anyone is planning on staying outside of this surgical conference room.
I feel like Gwen's gonna go in. And I'm sorry, I thought I had to sneeze. And if she gets squidgy or squeamish or anything, she's just gonna bail.
Okay, sounds good.
Caelum just sidles up next to the operating bench in like a lab coat and rubber gloves.
Cori's gonna keep watch and make sure no others are gonna show up and interrupt this thing.
Yeah. And Cori, Swift he'll keep watch with you. It seems like he doesn't necessarily. He's a chef. He's used to the process of getting into things, but usually for like, a more what parts are good for food and not let's just kind of squiggle around in there and figure out what's what. That doesn't seem like that is necessarily his MO. So he will just stand out there with you. And he'll actually offer you a beverage as well from his personal stash.
Alcohol?
It is indeed alcohol. At least it smells very strongly thereof.
All right. Cori imbibes.
Yeah,
modestly.
And Swift will... he will kind of make a comment that he's more upset that these Owlin showed up when they did, as they ruined a perfectly good dinner. Meanwhile, in the operation room, we have Gwen, we have Arjhan, we have Caelum, and we have I'll say that you're like, out of the bodies that you were able to get that are in decent enough shape to even like want to get like a full look on, you can get at least 3 in there that you're able to start looking at. So yeah, Caelum, it seems like you got the gloves on. Arjhan is also ready. We got the classic science bros, and Gwen, who's usually one for bloodshed, is helping move the bodies in there for sure. So what is it? Like how, I guess make a medicine check as you both, you can either do medicine or survival, depending on if you want to be more clinical or if you want this to be more of a, like how you would like get into an animal that you've just killed.
I got 26 for medicine.
Sorry, can you repeat all this?
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a very antsy puppy.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So, you have the bodies of these Owlin soldiers at your disposal. Would you prefer to use a survival skill to kind of do more of like a field operating, like you would, like kind of how you did on the boar previously?
Yes,
or would...
that.
Okay, sounds good. So make a survival check for me.
Natural 1.
Okay,
And I'm not near Gwen.
sounds good.
Yeah, no, I'm in the room.
You're in the room? I thought
Yeah.
you were outside.
No,
No,
Gwen is
I
in the
came
room
in.
until she gets
So, yeah.
squeamish.
Bountiful luck, baby.
Okay. Does that mean I can reroll?
Yes, it does. No one's on my watch.
Don't
That was
watch
a
my
2 for an 11.
Okay. 11's not bad, though. Yeah, so Arjhan kind of getting into it. Like, again, most of the, like, finer cuts that you have, that you've kind of gotten into have been mostly on, not bipeds, to say the least, let alone bipeds with large wings. It's kind of rough going. And Caelum, as you are, cutting into it, what elements of this thing are of particular interest to you?
Where do dragons start and Owlin end, or Owlin begin?
For sure. So yeah, you take off this kind of wooded mask and you can see that they have, again, this more like molted, avian style face. And as you are like inspecting the eyes, you can see that they do just have like this very dead, pale expression about them. And kind of inspecting the skin, it's very, very strange, to say the least, as you are familiar as far as like things kind of shifting and changing over time, that as far as you've read in books that have allowed you to turn into thunder beasts previously, that they, like, down the line turned into avians. And this is kind of like, you're finding patches of skin, you're finding bits and pieces on this Owlin that look like they have almost like regressed in that sense, where rather than it being this kind of like goose flesh style, it almost has like that scaly texture of what would be like a duck's webbing, but it has the same kind of scaling patterning that you have seen on Arjhan, that it has this sort of, again, more like draconic nature. And it doesn't seem necessarily that it's like, oh, it starts at the arm and then goes down. It looks almost like a scatter shot of where these bits have been put onto them. It doesn't look necessarily like it was grafted. It looks more so that maybe the skin was put on and then just started taking off, or they've been kind of changed and shifted in some way that is causing it to be more sporadic in nature.
Well, that's disturbing.
And that is what you find on the surface level. With the 26, again, you're kind of able to, yeah.
Question, Indoor, which one is this one that Caelum's currently operating
Which one would you
on?
prefer? There was black, blue, and red.
Red, because I have a theory I want to see, and it involves getting into the
Cavity, chest cavity.
cavity to see if there is the extra pocket for, like, the combustible oils of a fire dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, with your 26, you're able to make a nice cut along the sternum and onto the stomach. You can't really get past the bone, as the bone seems a lot denser, even though it is more like avian in nature.
I mean, there is a way to get past the bone.
Oh yeah, and her name is Gwen, and she's right there.
Hey Gwen, do you want to tear through a chest cavity for me?
I don't know, man. This feels like it's like not in good sport.
How does an 18 do, Indoor?
An 18?
Caelum just...
Oh, gods!
Yeah, an 18,
Nope.
honestly,
Nope.
for that is
No,
fine.
I'm good.
Yep, Gwen,
I'm
you...
I'm out. Alright, y'all have fun.
Yeah, and Cori, Gwen, you hear making this noise as she leaves in and kind of like poking your head in. You just see Caelum with like elbows up, bones protruding, and he's just kind of looking in like, how very interesting. Like, you can tell that there is that more, like, analytical look. It does a body a little bit of worry to see him so casually doing this, but at the same time, the pursuit of knowledge.
I think we fucked up with our boy. I don't know. Feels wrong.
That boy ain't right.
Sorry. No, I can't. This is Wings' laughter, not Cori. Yeah, I think Cori like sees that happening behind Gwen, and like literally like horks up a little bit in their mouth, and then just like nope, this is the right place for me. I'll just stay right out here.
Gwen just pushes past and like settles up next to you guys. You like
passes her some alcohol.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Caelum, as you get open the chest, break open the sternum and kind of begin making your way into the better part of the upper torso of this owlin. You don't find like an inflatable deflatable sack, but you do find something hard, something almost out of place, I would say. You do know that owls, for the most part, like when they eat and then regurgitate things up, owl pellets. And this does seem to have like the body tract in order to have owl pellets, which in a way is honestly a bit more frightening. Like, what would even the size of that pellet be, given the size of this creature? But what you find is it is no bigger than a vial of ink. I would say probably about like at most 1.5 inches, possibly 2 inches tall, maybe a 1/2 inch around, is what looks to be this kind of red looking gem that has almost like an active spark on the inside, but like that active spark was like caught in its moment. Like, it's not currently going, but it's like when you like freeze frame on an explosion and you can see everything going at once, but it seems encapsulated inside of this gem.
I was gonna say like an on lava lamp, essentially.
Not particularly. It seems a lot more. It seems like it's more in a less stable state than a lava lamp, because with a lava lamp, again, you kind of get those like big blobs that are going up and down. This is like there was like a center point, and then like you again kind of like freeze frame on an explosion where it looks like you can see like no matter where you look at this gem, you can see that it's something like there is something caught in the middle of it.
Caelum is going to, since Connor's here, usher Arjhan to a side and go back into the operating theater. He's going to cast Wall of Force in a dome underneath him.
Okay.
And then just reach in and try and extricate this gem.
Yeah. As you kind of like begin making like kind of shaving the gem a little bit to see if you can get any kind of like reaction out of it through this Wall of Force. Thankfully, as you are
Caelum's inside. He cast the Wall of Force in case the gem exploded.
Oh,
so
okay.
That no one else has exploded.
Yeah, and as you're kind of like, again, kind of figuring this out, nothing is happening to it. There's no like explosion. There's no like delayed fireball or blast that is coming from this gem. It just seems like it is a very strange patterning upon this gem. And to help catch Connor up,
I've been listening.
Okay, cool.
This was ingested, from what I'm assuming, or was
it did not look like it was part of any kind of ingestion or digestion tract. It looks like it was like almost like the body had been structured around it.
Okay. Reverse pearl.
Am I getting any sort of, I don't know, vibe from the crystal?
Make an Arcana check or a Insight check. Either one would work. For Arjhan, specifically.
11.
11. On Insight or Arcana?
That was Arcana.
On Arcana, looking at this gem that Caelum has pulled out, and kind of getting a glimpse at it, this looks like it is almost as is in the same way as when you create your animated breath. These kind of like animated breath weapons, how they always seem to have that moment of impetus, that moment where they begin to start. And that looks like what this gem is, but almost in a way where it is connected specifically to something more elemental. And that's about as far as you get with an 11.
I mean, Arjhan's gonna keep trying to. I mean, he's gonna keep trying to figure out what he can. He's specifically like looking for, if they are undead, if there's like, I don't know, something tethering them, or specifically animating them beyond just like the crystal, and if there's a way to disrupt it, or if it's more of a if there's like any sort of sense of like, these are Abishai that are possessing, or these are fiends that are possessing. He wants to try and figure out that.
For that, make a survival check or a history check. And if you do a history check, your history check would be at advantage because of your previous upbringings as a blood hunter in regards to undead.
Well, my history is 0.
Okay.
And I'm no longer a blood hunter.
Yes.
So I don't really have that. And my survival is 9, so I'm gonna go survival.
Okay, sounds good.
Again. 13.
Okay.
I've rolled.
Do you have your blood dice still?
I don't remember what it was.
13.
I mean, I have to declare it before I roll. But I rolled a 1, a 2, a 5, and a 4 so far this session.
Yeah, so Arjhan, as you're kind of looking at it, you're not getting the sense that this gem necessarily caused the undeath that is related to these Owlin. If anything, you think that their undead nature has allowed this sort of almost surgical implantation of the gem that then further caused some kind of shift. Kind of looking at it, you're not getting a sense that it was like, there's no like small tendrils that are connecting to it. There's nothing really about the gem itself that seems to be connected to this sort of like negative energy that you're more accustomed to. And as you've been cutting in to your own Owlin, it definitely seems like the blood's been coagulated long enough. Like there is enough signs that whatever shift is happening, the more like draconic scales and manifestations that had occurred on this seem post-mortem with the interaction of becoming vampires. So it seems, or undead in some way. It seems like they turned undead, then had this done to them, and then this is the result of kind of mixing both of those things together. And you can see that even looking at the muscles, whereas there should be some level of atrophy with the actual musculature of these birds themselves, you see that in the one that Caelum was operating on, as well as in the one that you're on, it looks like the sinew, the areas where normally it would need that kind of like salt salt saline activation in order to properly adjust and move, it seems like there is like a residual energy that is coming from it, and you are kind of getting the idea that there is something relating to these gems with that residual energy that you're seeing in the actual musculature, as you've also been going at your own corpse, but more of like from a hunter's standpoint of kind of getting in, seeing more about the body, where you witnessed Caelum just like crack open the chest of the one that he was working on and just go elbow in on it.
Do the gems react to elemental stimuli, or is it more of a link to something else? Like if I ritually cast detect magic, would I get that this is like conjuration, like this is a link to another plane, or?
There is a link to, you do get a sense that this has been linked to another plane, but you are getting the feeling that this is linked more towards like an elemental plane. And your previous knowledge, having spoken with Raza, having spoken with Scorchbane, that sort of thing, you are getting the sense that dragons as a whole are known for having a tie to specific elemental planes. And you were guessing that these gems, that whatever it is they are about, are somehow able to kind of harness that same draconic tie to an elemental plane. And then when inserted into one of these vampiric owls, is able to kind of transpond the powers from the elemental planes into them as well.
Do I feel like we can use these for anything?
You feel like you would be able to utilize these. You'd be able to utilize these as a spell component. In mechanical terms, these are considered. These are called dragon shards, and you are able to utilize one of these as a replacement for a material component worth up to 500 gold pieces, upon which the material component is consumed.
Give these to Cori.
Yeah, Cori,
Okay.
you are standing there like trying not to retch, and just like ichor covered hand reaches out with a gem, being like, "This is for you."
I could also use them.
Okay, well, Cori, Caelim's gonna toss this one to Cori and just say, "Hot tamale."
What is this?
You could use it.
It's a
For, like-
replacement diamond.
Yeah. I'm gonna go harvest the rest of them.
Wait, no, you need to elaborate on that. Use it for what?
It's a replacement diamond.
Oh, gods. What color is it?
This one is red.
Just sort of.
And the humerus is connected to the scapula.
That's not
Hold
how
on.
it works.
Yeah, and at this point, Swift is like hearing the squelching sounds of somebody playing Surgeon in the background. He's just is like, you know what? I'm gonna. Who wants a different dinner? Maybe some like a cold food that we don't have to.
Can we just please go anywhere but here?
Yeah, he
Bathroom,
nods. But yeah, so you are able to harvest from the other bodies that you have brought in. There is a you were able to get a blue gem, and you are able to get this kind of like deep. It's almost like a deep green gem from the black one.
Caelim's also gonna pick up one of the blue one's staves that was left behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Ritual cast detect magic.
There's nothing coming from it, sadly.
At least it looks cool as heck. Ching-ling-ling.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like that was kind of putting two and two together. That staff seemed like it was able to be harnessed as like a conduit for the elemental energy that was coursing through this Owlin's veins.
Mm-hmm. Portable hole. We should probably find a place to rest. How did they find us?
Good question. Is it possible that it was some sort of magical effect?
Or a scouting party?
Yep.
Perhaps. They could have just found us on accident.
And I would say, as the elves are having this conversation, Gwen and Arjhan, you would both be able to make an insight check or a history check to kind of get a better sense on this.
16.
16?
7.
7? Okay. Yeah, Gwen, you are more accustomed to dealing with raiding parties. Arjhan, you get the sense that it wasn't even necessarily that they were looking out for you initially, but this definitely has something more to do with the fact that as two nations that have been at war for ever, regular patrols sweep through, and when they notice that something is off, when they especially knowing that some undead do have this ability to detect to kind of detect life, that they might have been able to recognize, oh, these are more than boars, let's go and investigate that. And then seeing Gwen at the ready with a battle axe being like, come at me, motherfucker, probably didn't help them wanting to come down. But it seemed like this was just part of a sweep, as it were.
I don't think this was. I don't think they were forewarned. But they certainly will be now.
Right.
And if that was a standard scout, a standard patrol, then we need to get there quickly.
Yep. Okay.
Do we have time to rest, or is this more of an immediate thing?
Do you guys need to rest?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's find somewhere safe then.
Caelum?
Yeah?
Would a mansion be too conspicuous in this situation?
He's cleaned off his hands, pulling out a spell book, reading. Where are you? There you are. Dwelling in range that lasts, you choose the area which one entrance is located. The entrance shimmers faintly and is 5 feet wide and 10 feet tall. So if we do it inside of a cave...
Well, fortunately enough, when I was scanning the area for those undead, I was also scanning the topography, so I would know exactly where a cave would be.
Oh, also, you can open or close the portal if you're within 30 feet of it, while closed the portal is invisible. So I can, in fact, do it right here, right now, do it live.
Well, in that case, let's not worry about it.
Sweet.
Swift will comment that we might not want to do it near the corpses of their fallen. Yeah.
You know, you make a fair point, Swift.
Just in case.
Cave it is then?
Cave it is.
Right this way.
Okay. Yeah, that is
Helping.
Swift's suggestion is maybe a cave or some more less conspicuous place than literally the battlefield that you guys just got done with. But yeah, so everyone will follow you, Cori. Thankfully, again, you had your magic that allowed you to sense where all of these things were. Make a survival check. As you would use that ability focused primarily on these things. This is more to just kind of figure out how long the process will take. You know roughly where the cave is, but to find it exactly is going to be still a little bit of a search.
Natural 20 for 26.
You know exactly where the cave is. Helping. And like...
Healthiest elf!
Oh, yeah. It's the moment in Adventure Time where it's Finn and Jake in a dungeon and he's yelling, "I'm in my element." This is Cori in this very moment. So yeah, you're able to lead the party to this cave, and then right as you do, again, sort of that overcast sky that had been kind of gathering throughout the evening, you hear a roar of thunder rather far off in the distance, but you still hear it. And as you enter into this cave, Swift is more like looking around, seeing like, okay, is this... Like, he's kind of like getting like a general idea of where his surroundings are just in case. But yeah, Caelum, you are able to cast your Curious Cabin, and you are all able to hop in. No issue.
Swift, if you would like to make yourself at home, please choose any of the multitudes of guest rooms that are here.
Swift will nod and tell you thank you, and then he'll ask to be directed to the kitchen. If there is one, he's not sure.
Gertrude. Bing, bing, bing. Please allow Mr. Swift as the 10 Winds here to the kitchens, please.
She does a little curtsy and then follows along. And yeah, Swift will tell you thank you, and you will follow the unseen servant.
I think we need a strategy meeting.
Does anyone else feel like we don't rough it anymore?
I could not prepare
Yeah.
the spell.
No, it's fine.
Do we
Right?
want to
It's
rough
fine.
it?
No.
Well, not right now.
I don't want to step on anyone's like thing or anything. Like, anyway, yeah, we need a strategy meeting because that was very rough.
Oh, was it?
It
Sorry,
looks-
sometimes I like black out during these fights. It's
looks
fine.
over to Arjhan, who was probably near the brink of death earlier.
I think Gwen has 25 HP.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mirror that gets wheeled around to show Gwen like her
Ah,
status.
ow!
It's
Didn't even notice it until now. Thanks for pointing it out.
no, it was pretty rough. Probably a good thing that they ran away when they did.
What fight?
So
well,
Arjhan's. So I might have to step away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Arjhan's plan is to sip a potion of watchful rest and stay outside the mansion and keep watch throughout the night, just in case anybody does come by. I will listen to the strategy meeting though.
okay.
Take your time.
Well, from what you learned from the corpses, what would you say is the greatest danger that these creatures pose?
Well, for one, their survival instinct is probably they'll fight to the last, and that's very dangerous in itself. They also hit pretty hard, and there's a number of them.
But that's antithetical to what just happened. They ran away.
Because they needed to report back, probably. Unless
It only takes one to report back.
unless when you die in the dream, you die in real life. whatever's hooked up to these creatures. If they so happen to pop, then they too will.
I'm sorry, these are puppets being controlled remotely?
Jemmies leading to elemental planes. I can only assume that's what's happening because these creatures have to die first, and then they get these embedded inside.
Does it have anything to do with their abilities?
BRB, my ice cream's here.
Gwen can't carry this conversation.
You know what? But we can. Hold on.
Okay, no. This is what you get.
Arjhan would also mention about the elemental connection, similar to dragons, as he is aware and as he has been told. And then what is the other information? Boop. Okay, yeah, Caelum. You just see kind of goes like poo brain for a brief moment. It's the geometry lady gif of like him just like staring off into space, and you can tell all the calculations are currently going.
Hello, hi, sorry.
It's fine. You just kind of went dark there for a second. So you were saying about talking about the elemental planes and how it's probably connected in some way.
Yes, flesh puppets.
Gross.
Well, you were a flesh puppet, right? Or was that was different, right?
Who are you referring to?
Caelum.
And you can see Arjhan gets like a visibly uncomfortable look on his face.
What? I mean, like you were, right?
Have you ever read the
No.
Have you ever seen the Mummers play The Winter Soldier?
Probably not the same
one
one
with
you're
the
talking
mechanical arm.
No.
That one made me very sad.
Bucky, it's that situation to Cori.
So
Are you referring to yourself, or are you referring to
the situation
Owlin?
that happened to me?
Right, yes. No, I can see the similarities. Go on.
Where was I going with this?
I don't know, dude.
Gwen
Why are you
has a
eating ice cream? You're lactose intolerant. You gotta stop.
The unseen, like an unseen servant, just comes up, hands Caelum ice cream, and then just disappears.
The fourth wall is gone.
Oh yeah. Arjhan is just bleeding profusely.
You can't stop me from having my fudge brownie sundae dasher.
All right. Look, all I'm saying is, we gotta. Is there a way to defeat them? That's all I need to know.
Could we possibly sever the strings?
I mean, the most hilarious thing is if I drop some sort of anti-magic on them, but I don't have that spell on hand.
We have a knight, right?
I don't have that spell in general. I'd have to go study for a while. Hey, Simon.
Yes.
Could I make like some sort of Arcana check? Is it like a direct connection, or is there some sort of relay we can fuck up?
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay. Is this an assuming direct control sort of situation?
Find out. You'd be the person to make the check.
Yay.
Find out tonight.
28.
So 28, this does not seem like it is a assuming direct control situation. If it was, you doubt that the individuals that you were fighting would have left. If they were just pawns in a greater game, they would have been considered themselves expendable. However, because they did leave the situation that you were at to go back to a place, or at least you assume, you are guessing that they do still have some form of sentience, and guessing from the way that you saw them look at each other and shift their heads in accordance, you're guessing that that was some sort of communication between them. So there is something there. They do have a sense of intelligence about them. What you're guessing is that these gems, while connected to the elemental planes themselves, are not necessarily connected to a mass relay. Or if they are, it's not one that you are familiar with. As it seems like these are more a... it seems like these are more of a like condensed version of of that moment where connection is established from an elemental plane. These are not gems that you have seen before. These are not things that you are necessarily familiar with, but kind of just getting more familiarized with it. They do radiate magic, so a quick identify spell would also be able to provide that level of insight as well, where these are not necessarily meant for, like, there's no like IP address that these gemmies have. There's no like, okay, we can just ping the home station and then like get the feedback loop on that. It just seems like whatever it was, these not only would make an excellent spell component, but you're fairly certain that if you were ever to get into a situation where you needed to power a large mechanical thing, these would also make a very good like
battery,
like it could be like a turbo boost kind of thing, like in that Mummers play Back to the Future 3, where they're throwing the dynamite into the engine of the train to get like an extra that extra thrust. You think that this might even be similar to such a thing.
The other Mummers play Fury Road, where the main character has to get on top of the chassis of the car and blow nitrous oxide into the engine.
Exactly. It's a weird situation, but very similar.
There is nothing new under the sun.
Mad Max Fury Road is just Back to the Future 3 canon. You guys heard it here.
Ew.
Caelum, these things, like, produces the gem, are a connection to another plane.
Yes.
They're being controlled by something from another plane?
No. There's a miscommunication, I believe. They've been turned undead, and those gemmies are there for them to essentially harness or enhance some innate ability inside of them.
Yes.
To channel.
But there's still some influence there.
No. These guys are just dickbags.
Well, yes, of course. They seem to be autonomous, but it is the influence of an extraplanar being that's giving them these abilities.
No.
No? Help me understand. What are the gems for?
To boost innate abilities to manipulate the elements within the person.
They make them fire.
Make fire good, or make fire better.
Oh my god, they're evolutions.
So then what do the other planes have to do with this?
Well, depending on the gem, there's an affinity, right, Simon?
It's just a focused power the same way.
Yeah. You give an Eevee a fire gem, and it turns into Flareon. I'm so sorry. I'll stop.
I was a
The
Digimonster kid.
There's no equivalent.
The reason Wings asks is because I have access to a spell called Dispel Evil and Good, and it's specifically for breaking enchantments on people sourced from celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, undead. And it breaks possession. And I can also make a melee spell attack against a celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, undead, and drive the creature back to their plane. And it's essentially a better banishment, it seems.
So, from my understanding, they are not being controlled by an influence. They're just harnessing the elemental plane's power.
Yes.
Okay. So that being the case, this spell would not apply.
That is correct.
Okay. What about Dispel Magic? How about that?
That could work, yeah.
It's the shittier spell, so of course it works.
And you can do
It's
more
the
of it.
simpler spell.
Yeah, if you
Oh.
had
complex problems.
yep, if you-
D&D, why do you have so many ridiculously specific spells?
yeah, if you had a direct look at one of these jammies, like if you were to like cut somebody out, like cut a big gapy hole in their chest and could see the gemmy, you could dispel magic. You would have to roll for it because it is a magic item, but there is the possibility of that working. And then whether or not that would result in a stronger elemental connection, or if it would be more or like a depleted elemental connection, or if it would cause these undead owls to completely seize up, that is entirely unknown in this situation.
Gwen has a question. Are they completely undead or are they constructs?
From what you were able to
Neither.
see, they are completely undead. They are not constructed in any way. It seems.
Cori, can't you do that?
Do what?
Turn undead?
To what?
They're a paladin, right?
No.
That might only be a cleric.
I'm the wrong kind of paladin.
Ah, sorry.
I'm pretty sure maybe Child Divinity?
Paladins and clerics don't get the same general.
I can
abilities.
turn fey and fiends.
Oh, well. I don't know.
Oh. That's your
Specific.
own people? That's got
It's the
fucked up, Cori.
It's the only thing that I interact with.
You've
don't-
been on the material plane for like forever.
Technically, I've spent more time in the Feywild.
No, physically, you've also spent more time in the Feywild.
Anyways, okay, cool. So, where's the best place for me to hit them?
Yes.
Okie dokie. All
Just
right, cool.
Well, were the gems located in the same spots?
Yeah, it looks like it was located in their core. So underneath their bones, underneath their muscle, underneath everything, like in
Mhm.
like the
Aim for the
deep
heart.
center. Yeah.
Aim to
Okay.
cut them in half, but not the long ways.
Yeah.
Well,
So they
it's-
aren't. Sorry.
It seems that they're conveniently color-coded as far as what elements that they use. As
Mhm.
far as I could tell, only the blue Owlin were casting spells, so those would be the ones that would be easiest for me to handle.
Mhm.
Arjhan, if you want healing, I'd say stay close to me so that I can provide you with the bolstering effects of being near a paladin.
Okay. And how on a scale of 1 to cow, well, a cow to a dragon, how intelligent are they?
Smart enough to start running when we thin them out.
Do you think they strategize, or do you think we can trick them?
No, I'm pretty sure they do strategize. I saw them kind of talking to each other earlier.
Okay.
Perhaps
So-
it would be prescient to be able to have someone who can understand them.
What were they speaking?
Owlin?
Yeah, from
Oh,
what you were able to
everyone's
see,
got
they were
their
not
own language now.
they were not speaking verbally. It was a series of movements.
Ah, okay. So it's not gonna be easy for us to like figure out what they're gonna do. Cool. Okay. I guess from my perspective, guess
Arjhan,
we
do you
just-
have any resistances to acid?
Well, I can. If I get hit by something, I can become resistant to it for a little bit, but it's not a typical thing.
Do we know that this is what the army is made up of?
Based off of what Sean, not Sean, Zhao was saying.
Sean. Sorry.
Well, I'm thinking Xion, but that's Kingdom Hearts. I think. I don't know. I don't know why I know that.
Shion?
It just made me think of the Ten Rings movie. You change your name from Shin to Sean.
The only time I hear somebody say the name Shion is my older sister talking about it, like when we were both like dweeby high schoolers. So like, I don't know, that took me way back.
Okay, so I guess my whole thing is, we're not going to fight their whole army, right?
No.
Okay.
Recommend against it.
How can we defend against them? How can we go unseen?
That's what the Bright Wardens are for.
So they're going to distract them?
While we go sneak in and take care of Tyliera.
Right. But they're doing patrols, so basically we just have to keep it quiet. And if we do need to, take them out as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's really all the strategy we need, right? And Tyliera, the person we're gonna go get, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of person are they? What kind of dragon?
They're not.
They're not?
If
I thought they were a
recall
dragon. Well, not a full dragon, like Arjhan dragon.
No.
I think they're just a normal person, but you know.
As far as I can tell, they were a cultist.
Check my notes. Heralds of Tiamat, Arjhan, Ren, a whole ass green dragon. Okay.
Other heralds that you might know. Kendek.
Okay, hold on. Thanks for helping me keep my notes.
You're welcome. Kendek and Girana.
Geronimo.
Caelum turns to Cori and offers them a cream-filled cookie.
What is this?
I believe they call it Oreo.
Not sponsored by Nabisco.
Please don't.
Please don't. I don't want to be
Please
sponsored
do.
by Nabisco.
Double stuff me, baby. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel like at that point, as Caelum, you are like handing out cookies, Swift will like poke his head out from the kitchen and tell you not to ruin your dinner.
All right. So the
Oh
plan
yes, we
is
have these in
still,
the Feywild. They call them Hydrox there.
cookies aside, the plan is get in, get out, get in quiet, get the bitch, get out, question her or kill her or both.
To drag her to hell.
Drag her to hell. I like that. Okay.
No,
All right,
that's
the
a
plan.
problem. I don't have a way to do that.
Oh,
I could
is she
just-
from hell?
No, she's not from hell.
I have a tuning fork and planner shift.
I have to get her to a very specific place in hell.
Arjhan, you do also recall that with patience and the symbol of Tiamat that has appeared upon it is that any of those who you strike down with patience will go to Tiamat.
That was not patience.
I thought patience regained those abilities as well. That's what I was under the assumption of.
That was the other crossbow
Well,
that is not with me.
that's fair.
If Tiamat wants her soul, then Tiamat can provide for the transportation.
Tiamat said no.
Are you gonna tell her that, Cori?
I might.
Oh, love to see that.
Do not.
Yeah, don't.
I will, of course, refer to you, Arjhan, on that, but she does make things very difficult.
I'm not going to comment on that. Okay, so we can figure this out. We're smart people. We have a planar shift, right? Do we know anybody else in the Hells?
Lord Grandpa Momo.
Which is someone I remember, obviously, but for
Asmodeus.
Cori... Oh.
I think I still
Can we
have
talk
his
to
tuning
them?
fork. I think I still have his tuning fork.
Indoor, are we missing something?
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, so I think I think it's coming down to that I was under the assumption that Arjhan's crossbow would deliver those to Tiamat. I thought that those abilities had transferred onto Patience. If that was not the case prior, I would say that can still be the case with Patience, as that, again, was something that I had thought was the case. To kind of make things a little bit easier on that. Otherwise, you would be able to speak to Asmodeus, or if you wanted to petition Tiamat for to add that back onto Patience, that was something that she would be more than amenable to.
I have an Asmodeus ring. Does that just allow me to talk to him?
The Asmodeus ring, I believe, he gave that to you in case you ever wanted a favor from him, that he could work out a deal with you.
I mean, we could just, I've got the ring still. I could just call Asmodeus and get him to take her when it's time.
No.
No third parties.
No.
Wouldn't that be easier, though?
No, it would not.
Because he's a demon?
No.
No, because he's the ruler of all the demons, who got to the very tip top of the whole demon thing, because he's very good at being a demon.
Right. So, like, he'd trick me into doing something I don't want to do? I could be a knight of hell. Right, Abaddon? Oh, she's gone. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I see you're getting stressed. I didn't mean that. It was a joke. There's a lot of stress going on right now, and I just okay. But this is a problem we need to address. We need to figure out before we get to her, right?
Yes.
Okay. We can wing it. We usually do. So, but I think I'd probably be a good idea to strategize beforehand. Also, Cori, that thing you did where you got like a feel of the terrain, how often can you do that?
Let me check.
Do you
Because
create
it
a
is-
pamphlet or what?
It's a spell, and I think it's a fairly high level one too. Yeah, it's a 5th level spell. I can do that once a day.
Okay. Got it. So we're going to have to visually find our way through this camp unless we can get Arjhan to do a really high flyover of it. How good are your eyes?
I mean, they're decent, but if Tyliera has a whole army of, flying demonic undead elemental scouts,
Right.
I'm losing a lot of my previous thing.
The sky
Right.
will be awfully populated.
So then we take the ground. We dirty ourselves up and blend in. Arjhan, you're good at that.
Where's a purple worm when you need one?
You could do that again if you want me to.
Won't that be obvious from the tremors?
I mean, what are they gonna do? Dig in after me?
Maybe. We also want to go in stealth.
Correct.
Which we're so great at.
I have a really fun idea.
I'm guessing the answer is no, but continue.
Well, tomorrow, if I true polymorph myself into a beholder and use its magical dismissal eye, basically anything I see in a 180-degree radius around me will get shut down. If these things are magical in nature, at least they're not going to be super fueled.
Right, but don't you have to see the gem to do that?
No. It does not with the beholder. It just disables all magic.
I hate that. That's an option. Not a compelling option, but an option.
Hey.
Probably
I
not
say we go. Go ahead.
best. Probably not best for stealth, but
Right.
as an oh shit button, it's not a bad one.
What about we just Rambo it? Cover ourselves in mud. No, wait, that was Predator. Cover ourselves in mud and leaves and shit, and stealthily go into camp. Simple. And then we have backups. We don't even know what their camp looks like.
Does anyone have any resources as far as stealth
Gwen,
goes?
It's a giant hole in the ground.
I have a gun, a crossbow that can do pass without trace. I also can make us all seem as if we belong there.
Excellent. I can create a small fox spirit that can scout ahead for us. It has the ability to turn invisible. I can also
do that.
I can also teleport all of us 120 feet to a place I can see. But it is something I can do, and that seems useful in the event
That's
that we have
great.
to.
No, that's great. I thought we probably should have led with that one.
I'll go into a hole.
All right, well, let's get to the edge and reassess. Those are all great ideas. Let's get some sleep.
Okay.
Do we feel like we accomplished the goal? Why am I leading this like a team meeting?
Refreshments in the break room.
Does that sound good? Stealth as far as we can, and we get to the edge, see what's going on?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And Swift, who has been listening in on the plan while making food in the adjacent kitchen, also agrees that he thinks that stealthing in is going to be for the best on this. Okay. So, with that, I think that is Arjhan.
Are you about to call it?
Yeah,
Or-
I was about to say we can head off to our break. Then when we come back, we can start off this stealth mission. But until then, we are going to be 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. And we're back.
Mothman. That's it. This art is my still dead illustrations. They're so cute. Look at little Jason.
Oh, that is
Got
very
Mothman.
fun.
Got Ash.
I thought you were
got
going
this
to
on
do
my-
a YMCA, but with Mothman.
That's it. That was it. That was what I was doing. But anyways, I
It's
got
like a
this-
TikTok edit. You gotta select
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
stop. Mothman.
Yes. Mothman. But yes, I got all this art on my trip to Salem. I'll post her in the chat. She's great.
Witch trials.
Why is your proboscis of my...
She does
Yeah,
custom art.
Yeah,
so
okay.
All right.
I was like, she would do great for like I was thinking a Monster of the Week
Mm.
style.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before we even have a chance to go where RJ currently is, so you guys want to get back to the game?
I'm hitting reverse. I'm backing out of this, making an illegal U-turn into oncoming traffic to avoid this squirrel brain train that has just overtaken me. I'm gonna mute for a while.
Okay. So, you guys have decided that stealth is going to be your best option going forward. Heading into the next day, you know, and you do know several things. One, Arjhan's other weapon is able to send Tyliera to the Hells. Good. Two, you wanted to, you will be making or at least you had said that you were going to be making some sort of big, grandiose show to let the Bright Wardens know, in a way, like the time to strike was now, or at least like sending them and letting them know, like, hey, now's the time.
Oh, I'll leave that up to the rest of the party. Do you want me to drop a meteor swarm on the enemy to kick things off, or do you want me to just message Shao?
Feel like the stealth thing would be a big, right? So message.
Would put a damper on the stealth thing.
How so?
Well, I mean, perhaps after we're done being stealthy, yes.
And again, that's to kick off the actual rest of the fighting that is going to be going on.
Yes.
And Caelum doesn't necessarily need to be within eye shot to cast the spell.
I have no qualms against that.
Down, let's do it.
I have stuff that I want to do during the long rest.
Yeah.
That's just, I want to make sure we don't skip over that.
Of course. Okay. So yeah, you guys come up with a plan that you are going to be doing stealth as best you can, and then break off to begin your long rest. Arjhan, you said that you had wanted to be on the outside of the building?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm popping a potion of watchful rest, and I'm staying awake during the night.
Sure.
And keeping a lookout for any other patrols or anybody trying to detect where we are.
Yeah. Make a stealth check.
35.
35? Okay, yeah. Not even your party knows where you currently are outside of this, inside of this cave. Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
then I would say make a perception check as well. Just for the, just throughout the watch.
16.
A 16? Okay, yeah, you don't hear or see any of these other Owlin. Or actually, I would say that you do see like a small band going towards the area where they had previously lost individuals, but you don't end up seeing any more of them throughout the evening.
I would like to consult the Echo catalog.
Okay.
Or, first off, I cross-referencing my coordinates with any of the other echoes, or any of them close?
Let me see here. None are directly on Orzaris. But you do know that the Hand of the Queen, at least, is not too far off. Seem to be like, as far as like proximity goes, they are the one that is closest to you.
And by that,
by that, it would be, it seems like they're located closer towards where Paradise was.
okay. If they're not directly on us, then Arjhan probably wouldn't be able to Yeah, he doesn't think he would be able to get any decent information from it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Neil, I need my other crossbow from my hoard. Deliver to me.
Okay. Yeah, Newell will, almost as quickly as you ask, within minutes, Newell sees it done. And they will hand deliver your old crossbow back to you.
Cool.
Is there anything else that you would require of me?
I don't think so.
They nod, and with a plume of sulfur, they disappear.
And Arjhan's just gonna keep watch. Definitely paranoid about everything that's happening.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then for Cori, Gwen, Caelum, anything that the three of you wanted to get into for the evening?
Boy, do I just need sleep. Huh. I mean, Gwen. I'm fine.
Okay.
Cori will take his rest, and probably waking 4 hours too early for Gwen in particular, and finding Arjhan still awake. We'll just go see if he's okay with some company.
Okay. And then are you staying in summer form for this, or are you changing your season?
Good question. Yes, I'm gonna stay in summer form. It's the only it's the only form that gives me any kind of resistance to an elemental attack.
Okay.
So probably the best form for this. Cori will approach Arjhan. How are you feeling?
Not great.
Just nods. Would you like some tea?
Sure.
Cori will make him some tea. Hand him a cup. They'll sit and drink in silence for a little bit. We're with you on this.
I know. I know, and I appreciate it.
Cori just nods, kind of smiles a little bit, drinks tea in silence once more. And if that's that, then Cori will just stay with him.
Arjhan looks like he's trying to say something, but doesn't know how to find the words. I didn't know what I was getting into with this.
What do you mean?
I mean, my God told me that should I ever find the person who created me, if I ever find my mother, that she would like to have a conversation. I certainly couldn't deny her, but
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know, but within seconds they tore through a significantly powerful variant of mine. I don't know what I'm up against, but I have to assume she does. I don't know if she's sending me to die.
You think that Tiamat is sending you to your mother to die?
No, not literally, but I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to work out my feelings. I don't know.
You mean to say your mother is very powerful and you're concerned about whether or not we're going to succeed?
I'm worried that we don't. I'm worried that we continue going into this without knowing all the information. But the more we try and find it, the more we stand still. And things keep continuing to get out of hand.
Well, Cori just kind of like puts a hand up to the sky, measures the stars. We still have a few hours. How far are we?
It's been how many days?
You have you are on your last day of journey at this point. You are significantly in the enemy lines, which would also suggest why you had seen the scout camp before. You were guessing that you'll probably be there within 6 hours. 6 to 8 hours.
Cori will summon Twig. You said that you had an ability to form a scout?
Once I reach the end of my rest, maybe.
Cori nods. Well, as soon as your rest is finished, let's send our scouts out, and we will...
I am the scout.
Oh, you are the scout. Well, in that case.
I am the scout that can turn invisible.
Cori will kind of ruffle Twig's head, and then just send him off.
Yeah, and you just see this little fox kind of rolls its shoulders a little bit at the scritchies that it has received, and then take a few steps into the brush, and as it does, they sort of just fade into the leaves.
My calculations are correct. We can have a report back about halfway through our journey. What else? Well, Caelum can drop Meteor Swarm onto their encampment. Twice, apparently. That should help us out for the first part of it. We're going to have some backup from the others. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that I haven't tipped my hand on quite yet.
Simon.
Yep.
The mutations on the Owlin,
Yes.
similar or different from what happened to Arn?
Different. Arin is, mechanically speaking, a draconic bloodline sorcerer.
Does Arn have a Tyliera?
Arin does not have a Tyliera, or if they do, not in the same way that you do.
Do I know if any of my echoes have a Tyliera?
Yes. You would know that the Fist of the Obsidian has a Tyliera. You know that. Let me check the listings.
And this might be too much, but would I know if any of the others have a Tyliera that's in the situation that mine is?
You would guess that out of the groupings of them that you have had, that at least one of them might be able to. I would say if you've spent time...
I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, you would guess that based off of the descriptions that you've been given, it seems like the Arjhans that are closer to you, such as Fist of the Obsidian, Arjhan of the Burning Blood, Arjhan the Caustic Blade, or Adris the Caustic Blade. It seems like they might be at least closer akin to your own backstory. And you could try and communicate with them to a degree, if you wanted to possibly find out more information about Tyliera directly.
Cori just continues to name tactical advantages that they have. This doesn't seem to be helping you.
Not quite.
So is it not the fighting that you're worried about?
I don't know.
I guess there really is no way to know. You've never met her. I think that if I'd never met the person responsible for my being, I would be confused, a bit curious.
She kills me, Cori. She killed me. I know nothing about her. But she killed me. She left me there. And here I am a lifetime later. Just being sent. Just sent her to hell. knowing good and well that she does have the power to probably kill all of us.
Well, assuming she doesn't do that, what do you want?
I don't think it ever mattered what I want.
It matters to me. For just 1 second, call it hypothetical. Don't think about what she wants. And tell me what you want.
I want to know what's going on. I want to know why she's doing what she's doing. And I want to know why she did what she did.
I don't think it's too out of the question to get the answers to those questions. You know what? It's really encouraging to me that Tiamat actually just wants to have a discussion. Sounds like a good opportunity to get some answers.
I don't. It didn't sound like a literal discussion.
Well, if that's the case, then I don't think it's out of line for you to have a discussion prior to that. She didn't exactly give you a timeline on this sort of thing, did she?
No.
No, there you go. Sounds to me the hardest part is going to be the actual sitting down and talking. And we'll be there for you for that as well, if you want.
No, just not.
Sorry, what did he say?
He'll just nod.
Okay. Cori will look out at the horizon. I imagine that the sky is just starting to turn color as the sunset begins to the sunrise threatens to begin.
It has maintained that overcast appearance throughout most of the evening. It's been a little spotty, but as the sun does begin to rise, you can see that it does have that kind of like that comfortable like purplish orange as it begins to crest over the horizon.
I understand how hard this is going to be, Arjhan. Trust me, I do. Cori will just turn, give him a sort of a hard look, which will soften into a smile. And just reach out and put a hand on his shoulder.
He'll just sort of like reach up and pat it.
Okay. And then for the other elf who also wakes up awful early, what is Caelum's plan for the morning?
Prior to going to sleep, Caelum spent 4 hours doing some research into something.
Okay.
Essentially, he's looking into conductive materials.
Okay.
And also retardant materials. What he's looking to do is form like a hollow hilt.
Okay.
And what's going to happen is he's going to use an echo shard as a focuser, and the gem, like a part of the gems they've recovered from inside of the owlin, as a sort of battery or conductor, and he wants to see if he can't like fashion a lightning saber.
Okay. Yeah, make a Arcana check with this.
Okay.
Kyber crystals do more than just make pretty swords.
They're focusers, I know.
They can blow up
26.
Alderaan.
They can blow up Alderaan. I'm sorry, where's Alderaan?
Incredible. What'd you roll, Caelum?
26.
Okay, so 26. So you like are able to augur out a hole in an echo shard and place this like elemental gemmy that you got from the owlin in, and it rests as well as you would think, and it seems to at least physically be held. When you put any kind of arcane energy into it, you can tell that there is a unexpected feedback loop that begins to happen, as it doesn't seem like it is able to necessarily keep itself contained on what you are doing, and you think that you may have just created a mild magical grenade, if anything.
Huh.
Caelum, you have about 10 seconds before this thing just goes off.
He drops it on the floor, takes a step back, and makes a force wall around it in a dome.
Okay. And you watch as it explodes, rather than exploding from the center, it actually pops up and then pings off the top of the force wall, comes back down about halfway, and then just shatters outward.
Holy shit, it's a bouncing Betty. Gets out his Dremel, gets out his hand drill. This might be really bad for us.
Okay. It's Caelum, you have the tools and the material to make 2 more of these magical grenades.
This might be really bad for us. Why do you enable me?
You rolled for it. It is my job as the DM to facilitate this madness. I cannot be impartial. Or I have to be impartial.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't... From your current experimentation, it doesn't look like you are able to manifest this as a beam of sorts, but it does look like it does carry quite a potent charge to it.
Huh. What if I were to cast Catapult using one? No, you know what? One magical experiment is enough for tonight. 4 hours goes by as he trances, and he'll grab some tea and wait for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, and Caelum, as you are trancing, you Most often when you have trance, and especially lately when you've been trancing, you've definitely felt a stronger connection to the Shadowfell, and being able to kind of figure out different abilities and learn different skills based off of your connection to being this librarian, this curator that you have found yourself in the positioning thereof. This evening, as you are focusing and trancing, you have a memory that's not necessarily your own, and you know it's not your own because when you look down, you are like, you have the same skin coloration as Hiram does, but it's not like, you don't see yourself wearing like heavy armor. And you have this almost dreamlike sequence where you are hunting something. And you don't know what. And you don't know what you're after. But the bow that you have in your hand is familiar.
How far does the dream go? Am I able to interact with things, or is it I'm just going through the motions of the dream?
It seems like this is definitely going through the motions.
Caelum's going to observe. The bow's familiar to him?
Yeah, it is familiar in the sense that this is the bow that you have been attempting to use for the last set of days.
Okay.
And it definitely seems that whoever had this bow previous was a skilled hunter. And it seems that is about as far as it goes, is that it is more like learning how to stalk through the grass, that sort of thing. Or at least the feelings thereof.
Okay. When Caelum wakes up from this, I guess he'll head outside, nod to Cori and Arjhan. I think my mind kind of is reaching, or the bow's reaching out to my mind, because I just had a dream about it. They're a
Divine
hunter.
sense.
Divine sense, same as
Divine sense.
Yeah, same as you've gotten previously. There's no Fey Fiend Undead, any kind of extra.
Maybe like some slight undead from
A
Hiram.
little bit, but more in the same way as like Gwen's spirits or the spear with Hiram in it.
Right, but he's not being possessed,
It's
right?
not being possessed, no.
Yeah, just checking.
Yeah, whoever resides in this bow is a hunter. So I figure I gotta go hunting some more to get the coax him out.
Interesting. Well, it's been a while since I've been in a hunting party, but I think we've got about 2 hours before Gwen's done sleeping.
Spot a quiet hunting.
Arjhan, how do you feel about some hunting?
I have a couple of hours before I'm done as well.
All right.
I can go and hunt something and you can grade it.
Okay. I'll wait here then.
Caelum elfs off.
Okay. I'm sure this is fine. Yeah, Caelum, make a, this would be a survival or a nature check. I believe survival to hunt.
Yeah, okay. I'm wise. 18.
18? Okay, yeah, kind of picking up what Arjhan had explained yesterday and kind of feeling the same movements and kind of getting a better sense of understanding. You are able to at least maintain a relatively good pace. Do you hunt for the full 2 hours?
He'll try and hunt for like an hour 30.
Okay.
And then come back.
Yeah, I would say at about the hour 30 mark, you manage to find it's it definitely doesn't look as healthy as the boar that you were able to encounter yesterday. It looks definitely like a little more on the famished side, and you can see that there are like rake marks along its back from some sort of feathered creature.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. You were able to track it down and catch it, but you don't know if this would even be that good of a meal, all things considered.
Just like a foot of dirt is moved, and Caelum puts this creature in the hole and then just covers it. Pat, pat. He'll head back.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, and Gwen, it is around this time that you finally... what a solid 8. Good time. Big stretch. If no one says it, it didn't happen.
Man, I hope nothing happened during the evening. Gwen walks out. I feel great, guys. How's everyone feeling this morning? Time to get some shit done.
Oh, Arjhan, how good are you at essentially channeling arcane magic?
Why?
I made some toys.
What?
Essentially, you suffuse them with some of your magical energies. Throw it as far away from you as possible. It will bounce into the air about 10 feet before landing 5 feet above the ground and then exploding in a rain of crystal shards and magical energies.
You took our backup diamonds and made them explode?
Just part of one.
Okay, I'm not an arcane caster.
I don't have to try divine. And you know what? I'll keep these to myself for now.
Okay.
I was trying to make a focused beam of energy.
All right. Swift ends up making his way out of the house as well. And still has like, it actually asks you, Caelum, like, if I leave all my stuff in there.
No, do not leave all your stuff in there.
Okay, you see him go right back into the house. And after about like 10 minutes, he comes out like wearing his bag again.
Real good.
I think so. Stealth is the way.
Clear the camp.
Clear the camp.
Okay.
Okay. So
I think that Gwen is gonna like try and be next to Arjhan on the hunt. Just as she's gonna just do a quick little when they're out of earshot. Hey Arjhan.
Yeah.
Do you want to handle this situation with Tyliera, or would you rather somebody else handle it?
I have to.
Do you have to?
If I don't shoot her with this specific crossbow that I just had to transport a continent away, her soul does not get where Tiamat asked it to.
Right. I guess my question is, do you want to converse with her first, or do you want to knock her senseless before she can talk? And by you, I mean me.
I don't know.
Okay. Are you going to be in a good headspace to figure that out in the moment, or do you want to talk through it?
I don't know. I would like to try and talk to her. I doubt that is going to be a possibility.
Okay, but if she starts to try to manipulate you and pull on your heartstrings, like I'm your mom sort of shit, I'm not gonna have it.
I don't know her. I don't know that she would try to do that. I doubt that she could. She killed me, Gwen.
I know, but it's been a long time, and she might have changed her mind or her feelings on the situation, so just a possibility. Like, if it were up to me, no talk, only, axe to head, but it's not my thing. So I want to make sure that you get everything you want out of this. Is it revenge? Is it closure? Is it something else? Figure it out on the way?
I don't think I'm going to figure it out. I think we are all greatly overestimating the attachment that I have to this woman.
She did try to kill you. That's kind of the attachment that I'm getting at. Like, if it were me, I would like to stab her through the ribs. If someone tried to kill me, right? But I'm not you, and you have more sympathy than I do, so.
I don't. You're not reading this situation correctly.
Sorry. What do you need? What do you need from me?
I need to get there. That's it.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. We'll get there. Lead the way.
Okay.
I would like to read him. I would like to read a person, please. Wrong
Okay.
system.
That's an insight, I believe, if that's what you're meaning.
Uh-huh.
18 passive perception. Could I have heard this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is canon that Gwen has a large
Horrible
difficulty
whisper.
being whispery.
I did take off my scale mail, by the way, so that I could be stealthy. So no more necrotic resistance for Gwen today. I got a 17 on my insight.
Okay. Arjhan has a modifier of -1 to charisma, so I assume you get a read. He's very confused.
Okay. I guess my question is he like trying to figure out how he feels about the situation, or does he actually not care?
He doesn't know how he feels. He's not really trying to put in an effort of figuring it out.
Okay.
He's in the denial phase.
That's
kind of.
okay. That's what I was asking. Perfect. Thank you. He doesn't need a push though, right? He doesn't need to be pushed into figuring it out.
I mean, do you want this to go on for 3 more episodes?
No. I guess you as Connor, do you want Gwen to continue to push this, or do you want it to get there? Okay.
I want us to do something.
Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. Caelum, you were able to kind of hear about this, but as well as kind of seeing the general look at it, Gwen has always been a very good judge of character, and you see that she is also not pushing it farther than it is currently going.
Caelum just leans over to Cori. Between you and me, if I ever met my mother on the field of battle, I would not hesitate to drop her like a sack of potatoes.
Duly noted.
I see we're all very well-adjusted individuals.
Weird flex, but okay. Hey, all of my parents are great. I don't know.
If you recall, she has no attachment to me.
To be fair, I did kick her down a flight of stairs.
She was a right bitch after that, though. Even after I apologized.
Then I don't
No,
feel
but-
as bad anymore.
Y'all motherfuckers need Talos, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thought that Swift is having. It's just like being very quiet, listening to your conversations. But
So glad I came.
Yeah.
Once we have a little bit less than an hour, Arjhan's going to cast Pass Without Hurries.
okay. Yeah, and during your journey as well, you will hear a kind of rustling as you see this small little fox spirit with its two little miniaturized antlers appear, having done exactly what Cori asked it to.
Cori will lean down and let it run up their arm. Shoulder.
Okay.
I'm gonna receive the report.
So the report is the Nightsworn are aware that the Bright Wardens are forming a what they kind of believe is more of like a last stand. This Twig did not necessarily hear them describe this last stand. I'm looking back as my cat is getting nearish the door, and I don't want her to start scratching the shit out of it. But it seems more like the Bright Wardens are giving this everything that they have, and the Nightsworn are confident in their abilities, but they are still bolstering. A lot of their attention is currently drawn towards the direction that you had asked them to go to. It seems like they are a lot of their scouting parties and that sort of thing were more kind of drawn off in that direction over the last evening, which definitely allowed your group to kind of move in a little bit more undetected than they otherwise would have. From what Twig was able to see inside of this crater, as stated prior, is what looks like a massive tower. And this tower, as itself, is the centralized base of operations for the Nightsworn. Thankfully, with Twig being small and invisible, they were able to kind of get through most of this undetected. But they did note that they did see several individuals there who were not of the Owlin nature. Specifically, they saw a tiefling that had a twin set of ibex horns, as well as bluish skin. And they also saw what they describe as a human or humanoid, grayish skin with what looks like a large horn sticking out of the center of their head. Not in a tiefling sort of way. It doesn't look like it is similar in that sense. But they were a half-orc.
Oh,
Oh no.
very interesting. That sounds familiar.
Totally.
Yeah, you will all remember that Tyliera did have an accomplice. Back when they were originally forming their cult of dragons, there was the half-orc known as Torjak, who had grafted a blue dragon's horn into their own skull.
Gwen, that's important to your backstory.
Sorry, what?
Gwen, that's important to your backstory.
Yeah, I remember.
Maybe I just
LB remembers. Thank you.
maybe I just kick off this whole offensive with a message to Zhao.
Okay.
Gwen's eyes are red.
I feel like if Tyliera is not alone in this, if even Discovery were still there, I'm gonna need the big magics for them.
And I think that it would be Swift who asks, What do you mean big magics?
Well, sometimes I can make the world not go, but I can move while everything is frozen.
He nods.
Sometimes I can pull celestial bodies out of the air and crash them into my enemies.
Familiar with meteors, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not, and he'll even say, like, you don't have to simplify this for me. I
okay.
adventured for a while.
Meteor swarms, time stop, and true polymorph.
Okay.
Okay.
And so are you telling Xiao that you are going to be like, we need to use these spells just in case for our thing? Just wanting to establish, like, because when you say, like, I need to save big magics for the thing, I want to know, like, me as the DM, and, like, I would like to be able to at least, like, identify what you are meaning by this.
Sorry. So, in the message for the attack order, Caelum is going to add that he couldn't thin the forces, essentially, because they require the magics for themselves for their mission.
Okay.
In as so many words as message can fit.
Gotcha. The response that you get back in the sending is a very stoic sounding confirmation. And it is followed by, our plans do not change this day. When all is said and done, I hope we share a glorious feast.
If we have 10 minutes, Caelum is going to use the ritual. What was it?
Yeah, you guys have a shit ton of time. You've been doing nothing but travel. You definitely have 10 minutes.
Essentially, when it's time to send the attack order at the end of a 10-minute mark, Caelum had done a skywrite ritual to form the emblem of the Bright Wardens in the air.
Okay.
Out of clouds.
And you see that symbol for the Bright Wardens with the clouds begin to expand, and you hear thunder rolling from them.
Oh. Okay.
And then the rain begins to fall. You knew that this would happen, thankfully, because again, there was a cleric who could control the weather that you were using to your advantage with the Bright Warden's assault. But there's an hour left, roughly, until you get to the Nightsworn Citadel, this tower. So Pass Without Trace goes up. And as you are getting closer, you can tell that the land itself is getting more treacherous. It seems to be getting harder to traverse, and there are smaller creatures that seem to begin to kind of follow along with you, more of like mice and birds that seem to more so just like with your passage just sort of begin to chitter and chatter. And as you draw near to this place, because of these creatures, because of this surrounding area, you will have disadvantages on stealth checks as you make your way.
Joke's on you. Already have disadvantage.
Double disadvantage.
You'll still get your plus 10s from the Pass Without Trace.
It's raise of hands for anyone who didn't already have disadvantage.
Arjhan did not have
my
disadvantage.
scale mail. I did not have disadvantage.
So just the elves.
Should we let's run a stealth.
Yeah.
Book it.
I got 20.
Oh.
Okay. Swift got a 23.
I got a 29.
On
Also
disadvantage?
29.
I
Damn.
got
No.
a 13.
Damn it, I got 13. Sorry, I never rolled that well. I got excited because I rolled a 19.
That's okay. So
We're adding 10, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a 14 then.
Yeah. Thankfully, the group as a whole was able to pass, but you can definitely, as you are getting near the like, you can see the top of this tower, and you can see that there are like, it is well lit inside. But as you are getting nearer to this place, you get the idea that the situation, as tense as it is, the people here are on high alert. They are looking for something. They're looking for anything. Even with the Bright Warden's signal, there are waves of these Owlin that begin to make their way out of the Citadel, but they are still looking in the general vicinity of their keep. So, with this, as you guys make your way closer, how would you all feel about a skill challenge?
Whoo boy.
Ooh,
Let's
it's been
do
a
it.
while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. So, Wings, for all of our viewers, would you like to explain how a skill challenge works?
Oh my god, it's been so long. Okay, so we are going to roll initiative. This decides in what order we are going to be using skills to attempt to succeed in a particular goal. It seems that now the goal is to get into the fortress. So we'll you can basically roll any skill that you have. And when your turn comes up next, you're not allowed to roll a skill that you have rolled previously immediately before your turn. Like, you can't roll the skill that you rolled last turn, and you can't roll a skill that a person just rolled. So the person previous to you in initiative. That's essentially it, is that we have to get a certain amount of skills before we have to succeed in a certain amount of skills before we fail a certain amount of skills, and that determines whether or not we succeed or fail the skill challenge. It's an old 4E thing, and we're using the Kensington rules of skill challenges.
Like Swiss pairing?
Well, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, Simon, the rules of a skill challenge are a little different from how I run them in or how they are written in 4E. Because there's a guy named Rodrigo from a podcast of note named Critical Hit. And it was around before Critical Role, and it was really good. Anyway.
Okay, so.
That's where they come from.
Yes.
Continue.
So, with that, I would like for everybody to roll initiative.
23.
Dirty 20.
Another natural 1 for a 2.
11. I'm not going last.
Okay. So. And then I will put that in our 4 keeps chat. Sounds good. So, to start things off, looking at you're essentially getting close to the edge of this large crater. You can tell that the enemy here is on high alert. Arjhan, you already have your pass without a trace up. Your companions, as much as you would like, are doing their best to maintain a stealthy presence, but it seems like the wildlife here, these smaller creatures, are beginning to try and almost alert any kind of individual as to your presence. You hear them chittering, you hear them tweeting. They're like, it seems like the general fauna of this place is doing its best to try and alert whoever is listening of your current location. What would you like to do to lead off the start of the skill challenge as you begin to crest over this hill? And you can see that there are different encampments that are set up. Again, Owlin are in the process of leaving. But as far as feeling entirely without detection, that still remains to be seen.
I'm going to reach into my bag. And I'm going to take out the statuette of the onyx dog.
Okay.
And the same German Shepherd, completely black with the one spluted paw, is going to come out. And I'm going to reach down and give her some scritches. Hey girl, listen. I need you to run over here and chase all of these squirrels and everything and make a whole bunch of noise and draw a whole bunch of attention that way. Can you do that for me?
And she looks at you, and there is a solemn nod, and she says, "Of course I can. I am the best, after all."
Good girl.
And with your command, she will run. So with that, I would say, what would be a good skill for this? For her,
Animal
intimidation.
handling?
I would say either animal handling or intimidation, whichever one you would prefer. Or unless you have another skill that you think would be better. Because you are utilizing a magic item, you will have advantage on this roll.
I'm thinking...
This is only intimidation.
I'm thinking kind of...
Yeah.
It from a strategic aspect, it is sleight of hand, but...
Okay. Yeah, you can roll for sleight of hand if you want.
So, would that be Nyx's stats?
We will use yours on this one.
Okay.
Unless Nyx has stronger sleight of hand skills than
No.
you do, in which case...
No, Nyx has +2.
Okay.
She's got a spluted paw.
She do.
Simon. 23.
Okay, 23. That is a success. So Nyx, with this confirmation of being the best, rushes off and and like just begins chasing away. However, that does cause a little bit of enough noise that some of the Owlin that were getting ready for takeoff have heard now a dog barking where they are unused to hearing such a thing, and you see many of these like basketed heads swivel towards your direction.
Now, Simon.
Yes.
I'm getting this fucking dog back.
Yes, you are. She's the best after all. So, Gwen, you are next up as you watch as Nyx, the obsidian hound, rushes off and...
Mhm. Okay, Gwen is going to try to traverse this area and sort of break a path as stealthily as possible. I would like to use I would like to use athletics to maneuver my way through this area while clearing a path for my friends. I would like to try to do it stealthily. I do have the boots of elven kind, so
Okay.
I don't.
So if you'd like to roll a stealth check, you can. However, it will be noted that with the barking, Owlin figures have sort of like are looking in that direction as well.
Okay.
But they don't seem to be looking necessarily at your group specifically. So you would be able to make a stealth check. Hopefully you are
I
able
kind of want to
maintain it.
use athletics.
Okay, so if you use athletics, you wouldn't be able to use the boots of elven kind, which give you advantage on
Right,
stealth
right.
rolls. But you would
Right.
be able. So with the athletics, how would you be flavoring this athletics check? Like,
So
are you
I'm
yelling
thinking
like or like whispering parkour as you're doing it?
Yes. I'm thinking parkour, but like because athletics is like, oh, I'm gonna bust through shit, but like I am like athletically moving through these like a parkour person would be, but not like crashing through like a barbarian would.
Okay.
That makes sense. I don't want to be loud. Like, I don't want to draw attention.
Okay.
But I also want to, like, kind of lead the way and forge a path.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, with that, make your check.
Okay. I'm not raging, so it's just normal. That's 21.
21 is a success.
Thank you.
Okay.
Look, I got 2 things, okay? I got this. I can intimidate people. Survival's okay.
All right, and Swift, as the 10 wins, is going to assist Caelum in your check. So, Caelum, you will have advantage on your check as well. Which, Caelum, it is your go. You were like, so Nyx has run off, bark, 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 and you see that there are some Owlin who are like now like approaching, not like on the hillside that you are on, kind of going down the set of this crater. They seem to kind of be like hopping, flying over towards where the sound of the barking is. But Gwen, with her expert tactics, like any kind of rock or adjacent thing that is able to be hid behind, you have been able to like slide behind, wait, okay, go, and then like follow her along the lead. So what is Caelum's plan to help out with the overall skill challenge?
Essentially, if there is a stretch of land they need to cover, Caelum's going to just cast silent images in front of the space they're moving, but it's a hyper-realistic depiction of the space where, they're not in it, kind of Looney Tunes style.
Okay.
So they're basically moving behind like a painting frame.
Okay, gotcha. I like that. Yeah, so with that, that would be an Arcana check.
All right. Advantage. Thank you, Swift of the 10 wins. 28.
28 is a success as well. Y'all are doing really well on this one so far. So,
why would you say that?
Well, you are. It is. I see the numbers. So, yeah, Caelum, you managed to create these like Looney Tunes style paintings as you guys run by it. And it seems like, again, the Owlin, for the most part, you've now breached past the point where they are. At this point, you can hear the barking actually coming from the forest. It looks like Nyx has actually done a good enough job that she is no longer even inside of this crater. She is doing her best to make it out and around to kind of lead any ne'er-do-wells who might be trying to come up against you off into the distance. Again, you are about 3/4 of the way down this crater, and you see the imposing visage of the Tower of the Nightsworn. Cori, what would you like to do?
We are coming up on the Tower of the Nightsworn. Yes.
That is, yes. You are coming to the very base of this crater.
Well, I can't think of a reason to roll for it, but my instinct here would be to cast Scatter and get us down in there.
Okay. So just like pop down towards the very base. I would say make a roll with your spellcasting ability modifier.
That's smart. And it's the second time that you've done this, or said it to me, and both times it's smart. All right, here I go.
Stonks.
Natural 20 for 25.
Okay. And natural 20s count for 2 successes, I do believe. So,
if you say so, buddy.
Yes.
It's been so long since I've run a skill challenge.
Last I recall, natural 20s count as 2 successes, natural 1s count as 2 failures. So thankfully, you are able to, again, get ahead in the skill challenge. So right now it is 5 successes to 0 failures. You guys are making some serious headway into this. And with Cori, you scattering your party in a collected scatter, you get to the bottom of the base of the Nightsworn's tower. And as you are here, kind of looking up again the side of the the side of this crater, you can see that there are areas where the Nightsworn are heading up, and off in the distance, almost as an echo, you can hear the cries of the Bright Wardens as they rally for battle against their sworn enemies. Also looking up at the top of this tower, you can see that there are just like wave after wave of these Owlin that are making their way. Not all of them, mind you, have been augmented in the same fashion as the ones that you have seen. It looks like those were definitely much more of like a shock trooper kind of thing. But you are able to comfortably get to the bottom. Now it is just a matter of knowing where to go. Arjhan.
Didn't realize I was next. We're just at the bottom of the tower.
You're at the bottom. You have just arrived at the bottom of the tower, and it seems that you have been able to at least maintain stealth enough to get to this location. Seems like you have not been detected as of yet.
I mean, I should. I kind of just want to like get our bearings so that we like sort of understand like how to get up, and so I would like to sneak around and try and get that.
Okay, so would you prefer a stealth or a perception?
Definitely stealth.
Okay, make a stealth check for me. And
Do I
this
still
will
have
still have the plus 10 because it's within the hour of you using your pass without trace.
I mean, okay, 34.
Okay. Yeah, so with your 34, very quickly, low to the ground, you kind of creep forward, and as you are checking, you can see that there are entrances, like there's a large double door to get into the base floor of this tower. Likewise, you can also see that set aside, there is actually an entrance to what looks like a underground cave that seems to be just off center of where the tower is. It looks like maybe like set 120 feet away tops. So would you like to lead your party to the tower gates, or would you like to go to would you like to go?
Sorry, a kitten just fell from the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
Well, that's good.
The moment she moved her camera over, it was like it cursed her. Just
Okay, so Arjhan, would you like to try and get a good bearing towards the tower, or would you like to go towards the entrance to what looks to be this underground opening? Based off of the information that you had heard from, or that Cori was able to relay from Twig, it seems like the individual with the twin horns, as well as the singular horn out of their head, were going between the tower and somewhere else. And from your generalized purview around here, there don't seem to be many other somewhere else's that they could have possibly been going.
I'm sorry, that's a me, right? Or is this all on Connor?
This is still to Arjhan where he would like to lead. Into the tower or into the opening into what looks like a cave?
I need one more piece of information.
Sure.
Can I cast locate creature?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
I would like to locate Agravain.
Agravain is coming from the opening to the cave system. At least from what you were able to detect.
From the opening?
Not from the opening itself, but it seems like the branching pathway right or left, it is coming from not the tower. It seems to be coming from the other direction.
To the cave.
Okay. So you get to the top of the cave system. Gwen.
Okay.
And it looks like there is like the earth itself has been molded into steps, and you can see that it has this rather large opening to it, large enough for a large-sized creature to, or possibly bigger, to make a entrance or exit. But it seems like this is the direction that Arjhan, who has just used a locate creature, is feeling like this is the direction that you need to go. So heading towards this area, stealth being the skill that was just used. Gwen, how would you like to assist in this?
We no longer are passing without trace, by the way.
Okay. I will use my skills of survival to get us down this passage without am I still in the front?
It's kind of just been whoever is doing the skill is able to kind of pop into the front if need be.
Yeah, I think that Gwen will find the best footing with her boots of elvenkind, but also her ability to maneuver this sort of terrain going underground is a halfling thing, and she has that sort of in her bones. So I will use their survival check to maneuver my way through.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Oh, that's an 8.
Okay, so that is
I didn't even roll a 1.
That is a fail. So, Gwen, as you are leading the party in, there is a moment where, as you step forward, you can feel like there is something that is caught on your foot. And as you step forward, you look down and see that there is a like fishing line thin string that is connected from one wall to the next, that then hits a wall, goes up, and you see is attached to a small silver bell.
That's not natural. That's not a natural thing. I wasn't expecting that. That's fine.
And you see that the bell is moving, but no sound is coming from it.
That sounds like an arcane thing.
Swift as the 10 Winds is going to assist Caelum.
Okay. Honestly, if we're going deeper in, could I use perception to basically see if up ahead, if anyone's coming towards us, and then just steer us away into like a side hall?
Yeah. Go for it. So 23, that is a success. So yeah, as you are going for, having heard the or having seen this bell activate, as you're going down, you do end up seeing the like shadowed forms against what looks like flickering torchlight coming towards your direction. You're all able to kind of like quickly into this other room, and you watch as there are 3 of these like augmented owlin that you had seen previously walking in the direction of where the alarm had been made. But as you kind of lean out and watch as they go past that point, like they get to the part where the string was, and then they continue on, and then once they reach the mouth of the cave, they enter into the air. Okay, Cori.
All right, going deeper into the cave, eh?
Yes.
I would like an excuse to use athletics.
Okay.
Could, like, narratively, could there possibly have been one straggler in that group that, like, we are surprised by and, like, Cori just knocks out?
Oh, just like the pommel of your sword right in the like between the eyes, and just whoo, and then crumple.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, let's see it. Roll.
See
like
see
God,
how
I
the
hope you
roll
roll
goes.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. 12.
Okay, so yeah, that is a fail. So Cori, you just and like go to like strike out against it, and there is that crunching noise from your sword against the basket, the head basket, as itself. But it definitely seems like it is did not take the damage that you thought that it was going to, and it is very much still a threat in this scenario. Arjhan.
Where's a set of stairs when you need one?
How far is Agravain from us?
Agravain, you are getting the sense that they are located no farther than 120 feet away from where you are.
Which direction?
Deeper into the cave mouth, or deeper into this large tunnel that you have found yourself in. They are not actually so from where the augmented soldier has come from, does not seem like it is the same vector as where Agravain is. Agravain seems farther in, and if you rushed very quickly, you may be able to just bypass this individual entirely, or you can try and lead them in further, but you are getting the sense that you are close to Agravain at this point.
If I try to Zephyr Strike assassinate this this thing that Cori alerted, what would I roll for that?
Zephyr Strike.
Zephyr Strike would be a spell.
So roll with your spellcasting modifier.
But I would actually be making a weapon attack.
Okay, yeah, then just make a ranged weapon attack, or the melee weapon attack, depending on which weapon you are using, which I believe is melee for Zephyr Strike.
Mm-hmm. You did say with advantage, right? You did not say with advantage.
Not for Zephyr Strike, or no, because you are using a spell, it would be with advantage. Yes.
Shit, my game log went away.
That's okay.
26.
26.
Okay, that is a success, which was the last success that you actually needed. So, Zephyr Strike, super quick, take care of this figure, they drop, and you can feel Agravain's presence some, at most, or because it's with the locate spell, you would know that they are roughly about 150 feet away.
Are they getting further from us?
No, they have maintained a steady pace. As you let's have everybody make one last stealth check. This will be as a group.
Dirty 20.
Holy shit, 17.
Wow.
That's at disadvantage with no modifier.
Trying my best out here with a 12.
Okay.
33.
Holy fuck.
And
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
no, that's all right. And Swift got a 29. So, as your group, again, collectively has passed this stealth check, and you make your way deeper into the tunnel. Eventually, you see that there is a wide opening, and there is a sickly green glow that seems to come from this chamber. And as you get close, you can see that it has been, like, the earth has been moved down to the point where there is a solid dropping point. And looking in, you can see that there are ringed along the outside edges of this depression in the earth, that there are these strange glass chambers. And inside of the glass chambers, you can see that there are what look to be humanoids floating in some sort of liquid. There are like bubbles and all sorts of that coming, and they each sort of exhibit this greenish glow. In a far corner, resting in a large pool, you see what appears to be there are black dragon scales that have seemed to fashion themselves around massive sets of bones, as what appears to be a draconic skeleton rests in this large pool of this glowing green liquid. Also, inside of this chamber, you see a bald-headed half-orc with a large horn protruding from their head. You see a blue-skinned tiefling with twin ibex horns that seems to be engaged in conversation with someone. That someone, of course, being a human woman that has not yet turned or paid any attention to the arrivals down this way. But you can see that each of them have the shimmering glow of what appears to be mage armor about them. They are ready for something. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. Next week, things are about to get interesting. Wouldn't you all agree?
And dispel magic, dispel magic, dispel magic.
I have 4 kittens right now. I'm happy.
That
Kitties.
that's the offshoot
That's
of the
the
4
life.
keeps campaign that we
Yeah,
really
it's
need
just
to be
the 4
talking to, is the
kittens.
4 kittens. But I am excited for next week, but I'm always excited whenever these folks are on the channel. Hey RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. You can catch me at RJustice22 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. Catch me here on Mondays and Sundays. Mondays as Caelum the Shatterkai Wizard, and on Sundays as Vice the Tiefling Rogue Warlock. We are taking a change in schedule this week for Star Power, so catch us over at GGK over on Wednesday, where we're doing our penultimate maybe episode of the game before we head into the new system Parselings, which is really fun. It's a deck builder, and we'll get more into that later. Session 0 is July 19th? I'll get back to you on that date. Otherwise, this week, Thursdays, again over at GGK, where we play Elegant Creatures, a Good Society Urban Shadows hack. Finally, over at the Hype Goblin Sunday morning, where hopefully we get to go back to our Nexus adventures. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches. I've got Lydia, Morticia, and Bram here with me, and Abaddon, of course. And one of them, I think that's Nancy up there. You can find me tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, where I'll be playing Dead by Daylight. It is the 6-year anniversary, and we are going to be trying to get all the masquerade masks. There is no window there. Please don't do that. We were trying to get all 12, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if after that, I'll be on GGK. On Friday, Laura and I will be back playing a new horror game. I've just updated our list of games that we want to play and games that we have, so it'll be a new game. It'll be fun. And then on Sunday this week, we will be starting our Playthings of the Gods Season 2, which is our D&D stream on Sunday nights. Watch Witchlight and then watch the VODs. Better with the VODs of the Playthings of the Gods. But we'll be back at it. We have 2 new players, and they'll be back at being manipulated by their gods in one way or another. It's going to be great. Val is playing a Food Wars character, so I'm quite hyped for that. DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. I'm here on Mondays. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, most related to D&D, and a lot of things on this channel. I also have a bunch of old doodles from that podcast I mentioned today. So if you want to go and see the things that really got me into D&D, you can go there and go into my tags, and then go to Critical Hit. doodles. And check those out. There's going to be a very familiar looking Eladrin. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and all of our games are currently being made available for free at youtube.com/Indoor Adventures, as well as where anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. But speaking of things that, again, are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to, again, join us at patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, and we will do our best to respond to those questions in kind. Best place to ask those questions, join us on Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description, in the description of the video or audio cast down below. One of these days, my muscle memory will be able to eventually mouth all of those sounds together, but for right now, I still stumble. But with that in mind, I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week, and we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!